Good morning, children. I welcome you all to the English classes again. So, in the last session, what did we discuss about? We discussed about number of grammar points like parts of speech, homophones, collocation, and syllabification. It's not the only that much grammar you have, but I have already said you that while explaining the chapter, I'll be explaining a few grammar parts or points when I am doing the chapter. Now today let's move on to our mainstream. But let us start up with our 10th standard syllabus, and the first chapter is a hero. What is a hero? Who is a hero? Hero, generally you will be having somebody as your role model. Somebody you would have considered them as your role model. He might be your father, he or some other great personalities who have some outstanding achievements. They have achieved something outstanding. So, like, take it for example, like it may be MS Dhoni, Sachin Tendulkar in sports, or many more others, some film heroes. So, it is not the hero is not only particular for that particular field. You have heroes in all the other fields. If you consider a hero, wherein a fictional stories, who is that? Something like Batsman or Spider-Man, they all are fictional heroes, okay, which is not in real. And some consider their role models or their heroes as some film heroes or some national and international personalities like Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther, etc., etc. So this is the word hero. It specifies you to get motivation from them. You get motivated through them. You get lots and lots of energy when you are seeing them, or when you are talking about them, when you are listening about them, you get motivated. That is what they do, and you are getting motivated from them. What does the word hero mean actually? It is like you are a person who is having a courage, lots and lots of courage, or one with an outstanding, one who has done with very well furnished with outstanding achievements. And here in this chapter, we'll study about such a kind of hero, one kind of hero, and how the chapter goes on. This is given by author R.K. Narayanan. Who is the author here? He is R.K. Narayanan. What about this? Before going into the chapter, let us know a few points about R.K. Narayanan. His full name is Rasipuram Krishnamurti Iyer Narayanan. Okay? So when was he born? He was born on October 10, 1906 to 13 May 2001. So this is his period. R.K. Narayanan is widely considered to be one of the greatest Indian English novelists, who is known for simple and unpretentious writing style. What is unpretentious here? It is like if a normal person tries to read a story, he can easily understand. There is nothing so poetic or something like you don't understand. You have to refer in depth in taking dictionary in depth. You should go with the literature and all. It will be in very simple English so that each and everybody can understand. He is best known for his work set in the fictional South Indian town of Malgudi. So again, the word fictional is repeated. I said you like you have some fictional heroes like your role models. What is fictional? Fictional is something which is an imaginary one, which is untrue. Okay, like fictional story, like South Indian town of Malgudi. It is an fictional one. Like it is an imaginary town, and he is famous for his works. Swami and his works. What are his works? His works. Swami and his friends. Swami and his friends. Okay. Swami and his friends, the Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Arts, the English teacher, next one, the financial expert, and his novel The Guide was adapted for the film and it won Sahitya Academy Award. So one of his novel was adapted for doing a movie and that that novel won an Sahitya Academy Award. Not only that, the movie which was made from the novel The Guide, given that too got many Filmfare Awards. He highlights social content and provides a feel for his characters through everyday life. So it's not like only he'll be writing the imaginary stories always. He takes up the social content, what is happening in our daily life. He takes that and he motivates, and he also wants to get the feedback from those characters. He was nominated to Rajya Sabha, the upper house of India's parliament. He was also nominated for the upper house, Rajya Sabha. Along with this, he also got Padma Bhushan Award in the year 1964 and Padma Vibhushan Award in 2001. And he also gained A.C. Benson Medal by the British Royal Society of Literature. This is all about the author. So please take down the mark these points in your textbook, children. Hope all are having your textbook. Please mark these points, make it highlighted in your text. And the period of Mr. R.K. Narayanan is not mentioned. Please do mention it. That is an extra information which I am giving. What is the full form of R.K. Narayanan? It is Rasipuram Krishnaswamy Iyer Narayanan. And now let us move on to our actual chapter, A Hero, in the page number 2. Okay. So now for Swami, events took an unexpected turn. So what is unexpected? It is something you don't expect. It happens suddenly. Okay. It is an unexpected turn. What is unexpected here? The word unexpected, how do you write? Unexpected, it is an, on the other day I gave you some grammar points like suffixes and prefixes. Right, children? Do you remember? Unexpected. What is it? It is an prefix. What is it? It is a prefix. So, unexpected turn. Father looked over the newspaper. He was reading under the hall lamp and said, Swami, listen to this. News has been received about a bravery of village lad who, while returning home by the jungle path, came face to face with a tiger. So what his father is doing? How is the scene described here? Father is sitting under the hall lamp, and he is reading a newspaper. And there he finds something interesting. One of the article was very interesting and he was sharing that kind of article, that particular article with his son. So what he'll tell his son? Swami. So what is the character here? One is Swami's father, the other one is Swami, that boy who is listening. Okay. Swami, listen to this. News has been received about the bravery of a village lad who, while returning home by the jungle path, came face to face with a tiger. What is face to face, children, here? See, the same page at the end you have a meaning there. Face to face with, coming close, very closely you're talking. This is face to face. Face to face. Close to something and looking at. Close to something and looking. Face to something and looking at it. Okay. Face to face. Okay. So that is called face to face. Like, Swami, listen to this. News has been given. He's been received about the bravery of a village lad, means a boy who stays in the village, who while returning home from the jungle path, he'll see a tiger, and then what happens? The paragraph described the fight the boy had with the tiger and his flight up the tree, where he stayed half a day till someone come that way and killed the tiger. So what was that boy doing? When he was returning home on a jungle path, he found a tiger and he just he climbs up the tree and sits there up in the air. That is called flight. Okay, what he does, he's settling up on the tree, that is, he's escaping from the tiger and he's settling in on the tree, where he stayed half a day. He stayed whole half day there for somebody's help, and unless somebody came there and that people killed that tiger, he was on the tree itself. After reading it through, father looked at Swami, fixed, and asked, what do you say to that? So here the actual story starts. What happened in the next second scene here? He is already in a position like what dad is going to ask, and something was running in his mind. After reading it through, after reading that particular article, father looked at Swami, fixed in the sense he was just staring at him. He was seeing him only. He didn't turn his vision here and there, and asked, what do you say to this? What is your opinion about this? Father asked Swami. See, note this, children. It may be asked as a note, okay? And Swami said, I think he must have been a very strong and grown-up person, not a boy at all. So what Swami said? Father, he might be an adult. He might be a grown-up person. He can't be a child. He can't be a boy at all. So, how could a boy fight a tiger? What was Swami's opinion on that boy? He was thinking that it might be an adult, it might be a completely grown-up person, or else how can he fight against a tiger? So that was Swami's opinion. You think you are a wiser than the newspaper? Father sneered. He tells in a mocking way, means he tells in a rude manner. Sneered is nothing but rude manner. Sneer. Speak in a very unkind way. Speak in a very unkind way. So, what he was doing? Do you think you are wiser than the newspaper? Father sneered. He said it in a very rude manner. A man may have the strength of an elephant and yet be a coward. See, like what he is telling here, a man may have the strength of an elephant. So the man is having a strength of an elephant, he is yet to be a coward. If he is so coward means you say is pukla, he is not coming forward for anything. He is with lots of fear. So that is called coward, okay. So when he is having a power of an elephant also, he is of no use when he has no courage. When he is coward, okay. When he has no courage, he is equivalent to coward. Whereas another may have the strength of a straw, but has courage, he can do anything. So what is in the second half of the sentence? He is trying to tell that who is having a strength of just a straw, but still if they have courage, they can do anything they want. What is straw meant by here? It is not the normal straw which we use for taking liquids. Straw is nothing but what we feed with the herbivores and all. It is like hulkaddi we say, na? That is this straw, okay? We can do anything. Courage is everything. Strength and age are not important. What according to Swami's father, courage is very important. If you have courage, even your strength doesn't matter, or if you are aged or not aged, age is also it's not a matter. Swami disputed the theory. How can it be, father? Suppose I have all the courage, what could I do if a tiger should attack me? Swami was having a dispute with the same thing. This theory was going on. Dispute in the sense, like they had an talking, like conversation was going like a dispute. Then how can it be, father? He is asking his father. How can it be? Suppose I have all the courage. If I am dare enough, how could I go and fight a tiger? He is asking to his father. Swami is asking to his father. Leave alone strength. Can you prove you have courage? So don't talk about strength. Can you prove that you have courage? Let me see if you can sleep alone tonight in my office room. So now the things has been turned seriously, and what father is asking this Swami to do? The father is asking Swami to sleep alone in his office room. Now father is giving a challenge for his son Swami. What the next thing happens? A frightful proposition. See, listen to this word properly, children. It is not preposition. Preposition is your parts of speech. Whereas the word which is given here is proposition. Proposition is nothing but suggestion, okay? Frightful suggestion means something unpleasant, okay? So Swami thought he had always slept beside his granny in the passage, and any change in this arrangement kept him trembling and awake all night. So he was very much disturbed, and what his father has said already, he is asking him to sleep alone in the office room tonight. He is asking him, he is strictly challenging him to do that. But what actually Swami was doing all these days, he was sleeping beside his granny in the passage, and if there is something change in this, if he is not sleeping with his granny, he was trembling. Trembling is nothing but he was shivering out of fear, and also he couldn't sleep all night. He was awake all night. He hoped at first that father was only joking. So at first, when this instance happened, what they were thinking, what he was thinking? He was thinking it was just in a joke. He mumbled weakly. Mumbled is nothing but murmuring. When your teacher asks you something, to give the answer, you just murmur within yourself something so that they can't understand anything clearly, right? That is called mumbling. Mumbling is nothing but murmuring or something which is not told clearly. Okay, I think you have a meaning. See here. Mumble. Mumble. Say something not clearly enough. Say something. Say something not clearly enough. Okay? Yes. Now, where did we leave? He mumbled weakly. Yes. And I tried to change the subject. What he was doing? He was trying to change the full, complete conversation itself by telling what? He said very loudly and with great deal of enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is nothing but eagerness, something, and very curious to hear something. We are going to admit even elders in our cricket club hereafter. From where to where he changed the topic. Father is asking him to sleep alone tonight in the office room, but he was in total confusion and he was already afraid of that, and he wanted to change the topic. Only to change the topic, what he did he just converted this conversation, like he suddenly started talking about his cricket club. We are going to admit even elders in our cricket club hereafter. We are buying brand new bats and balls. What is he telling his father? Like what happened in the cricket club? They are taking some elders also in their cricket club, and they're also going to purchase some brand new balls and bats. Our captain has asked me to tell you. So what he is telling, he is diverting his father's intention from making him to sleep alone. He is trying to change the topic itself. But what the father does, we will see about that later. Father Kachin. So father knew very well that he is trying to divert the topic. So he stops there only. We'll see to that later. You must sleep alone hereafter. What father says. Now, till now it was just a challenge. Now it has turned into command. What father is asking Swami to do, father is insisting him to sleep alone hereafter. Swami realized that matter had gone beyond his control. So, how did the scene start in the beginning? There was a very face-to-face conversation between father and son when he was reading the newspaper. They used to share father used to share an article, what has been reported in the newspaper, and from there on started what that boy did in a village, and that made this boy, this Swami, to give proper introduction about that boy, and he was trying to mislead his father, like how can a boy do such and such a thing. Then father explained him how much courage is important, and then at last he challenged him to sleep alone. Now he is thinking, why did I make a dispute with the father? Why did I argue? Why did I take this much of arguments? Why all this is leading to somewhere else? Something else is running in his mind. We will see about it later. Father cut in. You must sleep alone hereafter. Swami realized that the father had gone beyond his control. From a challenge, it had become a command. He knew that father's intensity had such moments. What is intensity? Determination. Intensity is nothing but determination. Intensity, determination. Okay, children. So father is very much fixed to make his son to sleep alone. Next, what happens? From the 1st of next month, I'll sleep alone, father. So what he's telling now? He's requesting his father to make him, not to make him sleep in the room alone. I'll sleep from the next month, 1st of next month. No, you must do it now. Father is insisting him to do it right from today. It is disgraceful sleeping beside granny or mother like a baby. So what he was doing till now? Till now he was sleeping with granny or previous years with mother. So they have mentioned both the things. It is disgraceful. That is not, you have been sleeping sleeping with your granny and mother like a baby. That is so disgraceful. You should not do it. You are in the second form. What is the second form, children? Underline the second form. Here, in those days, few years before, like when the Britishers were there, they used to have like up to 5th standard, they used to call us standards or class. After 6th, they used to call us for 6th, they used to call us 1st form, and 7th, they used to call us 2nd form, 8th, 3rd form, and so on. So that is mentioned as 2nd form, okay? And I don't like the way you are being brought up. So what the father is telling, see, I'm totally not impressed how you have been brought up. He said, and looked at his wife. When he was telling this word, he just didn't tell it to Swami. He didn't see Swami's face. While telling these words, he was seeing his wife's face, who was rocking the cradle. Sorry, it is cradle, not candle. Huh? Who was rocking the cradle. What is cradle here? It is a place where babies sleep. You say it as total took isn't it? That is called as rocking the cradle. Why do you look at me while you say it? She asked. So now she got angry. What she's telling to his her husband? Why are you looking at me when you are telling that sentence? Don't look at me. I hardly know anything about the boy. See, don't see that, see my face and tell those words. I hardly know anything about the boy. I don't know anything about that boy. Why that lady, she's having one more kid. She was busy with that second kid. Most of the time Swami used to spend his time with the grandmother. No, I didn't mean you, said father. What father said? Don't worry, please don't take it serious. No, I didn't mean to you. That was not meant for you. If you mean your mother is spoiling him, tell her so and don't look at me, she said and turned away. See, as usual, household talks, how it happens. What she said, if you are feeling that your son has been spoiled from your mother, tell those words to your mother directly, but don't blame me or don't look at me and tell those things. And she says this word and she again turns away her face. Okay, that is about and page number 3. And here you have some questions. When I'm giving you the notes part, I'll upload it everything. What all in the share your responses or your question answers, everything. Swami's father drew his attention to a report in the newspaper. What was the report about? I have clearly explained that you have to write it in your own sentences so that your vocabulary will be improved. Try to write it in a rough note so that when I give you the actual real notes, you can write it in your classwork. But for timing, you just write it in your rough note. That is your this session's homework. The report said that the boy who fought with the tiger stayed on tree for half a day. Why did he do so? Choose the right answer. He wanted to watch the tiger from the top of a tree. He wanted someone to kill the tiger. He wanted to take rest for some time. So which is the right answer? It is B, children. He wanted someone to kill the tiger. So another set of questions continued. It is a continued one. Third one. Swami said that a very strong and grown-up person might have fought with tiger. Do you think he made his remark out of his? Choose the most appropriate word. Even this session, this section is for homework 3, 4, 5 and 6. Write it in your own words. If you go wrong, also not an issue. I'll be giving the answers when I'm giving you, when I upload the notes, you can write it in your classwork, but don't neglect to write it. It is for the, it makes you as an, to form the sentences properly and your vocabulary will be improved through that. Okay. So next move on to the 6th paragraph. Swami's father said gloomily, gazing at the newspaper on his lap. Swami rose silently and tiptoed to his bed in the passage. So when this conversation was going with Swami's father and mother, what he did? He just silently walked towards his bed in the passage. Granny was sitting up in her bed and remarked, "Boy, are you already feeling sleepy?" Granny was already on the bed and she was asking, "Are you feeling sleepy? Don't you want to hear a story? Already you are feeling sleepy. Don't you want to hear a story from me?" So that means it is understood that Granny used to tell him stories at the bedtime. Swami made wild gesticulations to silence his granny. So what he was doing, gesticulations is nothing but giving some signs. He was telling no, no, be quiet. He was showing some signs to the granny so that she should keep quiet. But that good lady saw nothing. So Swami threw himself on the bed and pulled the blanket over his face. So granny is very good. She didn't take it in a wrong way. And what he did, he threw himself on the bed. He just jumped on the bed and he pulled the blanket over his face. Okay. Next, 7th paragraph. Granny said, don't cover your face. Are you already very sleepy? What, you're so sleepy? You're covering your face. Don't cover your face. Swami leant over and whispered, please, please shut up, Granny. Then again he said, lent means is nothing but like orukkoladu we say, right? That is called as lent. Whispered, please, please shut up, Granny. Don't make any noise. Don't talk to me and don't let anyone call me even if the house is on the fire. See, don't disturb me, don't talk to me. Even if the house is on the fire, don't wake me up. Don't allow anyone to call me also. If I don't sleep at once, perhaps I shall die. What he is doing, he know very well that father is coming to take him to sleep alone in the office room. So he wanted to sleep away first. So he is asking the granny to not to disturb. He turned over and curled and snored under the blanket till he found his blanket pulled away. So what he did, he just covered completely with the blanket. He curled means like urulodu will say, no, that is called curled. Like he completely curls himself with the blanket and he started snoring. Snoring is what? Snoring is nothing but gorke. Okay, we call it as snored. When he started snoring, found his blanket pulled away. He was doing the same thing unless his blanket was pulled away. Presently, his father came and stood over him. What his father did, he came and stood over there. Swami, get up, he said. He looked like an apparition in the same semi-darkness of the passage. What is apparition? It is a ghost. Ghost-like features were seen when father was standing in the semi-darkness, which was let in the cone of light from the hall. Okay, only a part of light was being coming to that passage. So in that semi-darkness, how the father was seen for him, it was looking like a ghost itself. Father said, Swami stirred and gone as if in sleep. What he was making like, he was acting like as if he has fallen in deep sleep. Father said, get up, Swami. Granny pleaded. Why do you disturb him? He's sleeping. No, don't disturb. You know the mentalities of these grannies. Whenever our father or mother scolds us, they come for our support, right? Papa Magu, they don't know anything. Why do you scold them or why do you disturb them? They will be the one to come to save us, right? So that is what Swami's granny is also doing here. So again, father didn't listen to her and he started telling, get up, Swami, said father for the 3rd time, and Swami got up. Father rolled up his bed, took it under his arm and said, come with me. Swami looked at Granny. What he did, father? He waked him up, he rolled his bed and he took under his arm and said, come with me. Swami looked at Granny. We'll have some pale kind of look, no? When you are unwillingly, your parents are making you to do something. With some pathetic face, you will look at your grandparents. Hesitated for a moment and followed his father into the office room. On the way, he threw a look of appeal at his mother and she said, why do you take him to the office room? We can sleep in the hall, I think. So what he did, what mother is also telling, why you are making him to sleep in the office room? Let him sleep in the hall itself. I don't think so, father said. Father is not allowing to sleep in there also. Swami slunk behind him and bowed head. He was in a very bad mood and he was lagging his face. He was bored head. With an bored head means what we say is like tale baggiskondu, we say, no, that is called with a bored head. Let me sleep in the hall, father, Swami pleaded. So now he is requesting his father to sleep him, allow him to sleep in the hall. Your office room is very dusty. Your office room is very dusty. Let me, please allow me to sleep in the hall itself. And there may be scorpions behind your law books. What he is telling, there may be scorpions. Scorpion is nothing but chelu, we say, no, in Kannada. That is scorpions behind you. Scorpions might be behind your law books. There are no scorpions. Little fellow, sleep on the bench if you like. Father is arguing with him again. No scorpions, nothing. If you want, you come and sleep on the bench. Can I have a lamp burning on the room? He is again asking. Can I have a lamp at least burning on the room, burning in the room? No. Father says again, no, you must learn not to be afraid of darkness. What father is again telling him? No, you should not switch on any lights. You have to sleep in the darkness. You should get used to darkness and you should not feel afraid of darkness. It is only a question of habit. You must cultivate good habits. See, nobody will sleep like burning the lights on. It is a good habit. You have to cultivate good habits. Will you at least leave the door open? What he is asking? First he said, please allow me to sleep in the hall. He is not ready to do that. Father is not ready to do that also. And secondly, what he is requesting for? He is asking to switch on the lights and then allow him to sleep. He is not ready to even he is not ready to do that also. And then next, what is his request? At least leave the door open. Okay, all right, but promise you won't roll up your bed and go to your granny's side at night. If you do not, I will make you the laughing stock of your school. Okay, what? At last, for the last request, he agreed. What was his last request? He asked the door to be open. See, unless and until you tell me that you don't roll up your bed and go to your granny, I will make the door open. I will make you laughing stock. If you do it, see, you should not go. If you are doing it, I'll come and tell this incident in your school so that you will become the laughing stock of your school. When this matter is being leaked in your school, what the children, what the friends among your people will do? They'll make fun of you. So father is threatening this boy by telling like this, don't do that. Don't run away to your granny even if the door is open. You have to sleep there only. If you are doing it so, I will spread this message to your friends among in the school so that this will be leaked and they will make fun of you. You will become the laughing stock of the school. So another two questions you have, children, here. What do you think was the practice of granny before she went to bed? Was Swami really sleeping or was he pretending? Okay, and this set of questions also you please try and I'll give you the answers. But why I'm asking you to try is your understanding will improve and what you have understood from me, even that is given. Okay, and now here the rest of the chapter I'll do it in the next session. In the next session I'll complete with this poem, with this prose, and we'll move on to the poem Grandma Climbs a Tree from Ruskin Bond. Okay, and very shortly I'll upload the notes, children. Write the classwork, maintain the classwork with 200 pages long notebook. Okay, rule note, and 100 pages long note for your homework. And here I think all have enjoyed this chapter and all the meanings. Again, don't wait. If you have the textbook with you, don't wait for me to upload the notes. Meanwhile, what you have to do is completely all the meanings. I'll read out which are the meanings to be written in the Classwork, your first main will be meanings only. Then sneer, frightful, face to face with, reading it through, mere skeleton, scowl, crossly, tenacity, cutting, proposition, mumble, second form, gloomily, sternly, tiptoed, gesticulations, snore, apparition, scorpions, flunk, laughing stock. Okay, up to this you write and read the meanings up to this. The next remaining part of the chapter I'll do it in the next session. Okay, thank you children.